Could Kiryu Kazuma, the absolute unit from the Yakuza games, actually survive if he got dropped into the GTA universe? And we're not just talking about surviving, we're talking about thriving. So let's start with the OG, GTA 3, and honestly, this might be the perfect world for our boy Kiryu. First off, let's talk about why GTA 3's Liberty City would basically be Kiryu's comfort zone. This dude has spent his entire life navigating the complex world of organized crime in Japan, and Liberty City in 2001. It's literally crawling with crime families that operate on the same principles Kiryu knows, like the back of his hand. You've got the Leone family, the Triads, the Yakuza. Wait, did I just say Yakuza? Yeah, there's literally a Yakuza presence in Liberty City already. Kiryu would probably walk into their operations and they'd be like, "Yo, isn't this the Dragon of Dojima?" Man would have instant street cred. The thing about Kiryu is that he's not just some random street thug who throws hands. This man understands hierarchy, respect, and the unwritten rules of the criminal underworld better than anyone. While Claude Speed is running around Liberty City causing absolute chaos and making enemies left and right, Kiryu would be playing the long game. He'd probably start by making connections with the existing power structures, maybe even try to broker peace between warring factions, because that's just who he is. Kiryu's moral code would actually work in his favor in Liberty City. While everyone else is backstabbing and betraying each other for quick cash, Kiryu would be building genuine loyalty and trust. The man has never broken a promise in his life, and in a world where your word means everything, that's basically a superpower. Crime bosses would kill to have someone that reliable on their payroll. The economics of it all work out too. Kiryu is used to making money through legitimate businesses. Remember all those real estate ventures and cabaret clubs? Liberty City has plenty of opportunities for someone with his business acumen. He could easily set up shop, build a network of legitimate fronts, and create a sustainable income stream while staying true to his principles. Plus, the man knows how to launder money better than most accountants. But hold up, because we're about to talk about a world that might actually break him. San Andreas in the early 90s. And honestly, this might be where Kiryu finally meets his match, and it's not because he can't throw hands. It's because San Andreas operates on a completely different level of chaos that goes against everything Kiryu stands for. Gang culture in Los Santos is nothing like the Yakuza world Kiryu knows. Grove Street, Balas, Vagos, these aren't organized crime families with codes of honor and respect. These are street gangs fighting over territory, crime corners, and respect in ways that would genuinely confuse Kiryu. The man is used to sitting down with rival clan leaders, having conversations over whiskey, and working out deals. In Los Santos, negotiations happen with drive-by shootings, and you're lucky if you get a warning first. The betrayal factor in San Andreas is absolutely unhinged compared to anything Kiryu has dealt with. Yeah, he's been backstabbed before, but usually it's big dramatic reveals with deep personal reasons. In San Andreas, your best friend might sell you out for a few $1,000s and some crack. Big Smoke and Ryder literally betrayed CJ and Grove Street for money and power. No honor involved whatsoever. Kiryu's entire worldview is built on loyalty and keeping your word. San Andreas would have him questioning everything he believes in. And can we talk about how absolutely unpredictable everything is? Kiryu thrives in structured environments where there are rules, even if they're criminal rules. San Andreas is pure chaos. One day you're fighting gang members. The next day you're stealing military jets. Then you're in the desert fighting government agents. Then somehow you end up in Las Vegas running a casino. The man likes routine and building long-term relationships. San Andreas doesn't give you time for any of that. The corruption levels would genuinely mess with Kiryu's head too. He's dealt with corrupt cops before, but Officer Tenpenny and his crew are on a different level of evil. They're not just taking bribes, they're actively making the streets worse, playing gangs against each other, and destroying communities for fun. Kiryu has always believed that even in the criminal world, there are lines you don't cross. Tenpenny crosses every line and then invents new ones to cross. The wildest part is that all of Kiryu's strengths would become weaknesses. His loyalty gets you killed when everyone's switching sides for money. His honor means nothing when people are fighting over drug corners. His business sense? Hard to run legitimate operations when the whole city's on fire and the government's actively working against you. Now let's flip the script completely and talk about Vice City, because this is where things get interesting again. First thing you gotta understand about Vice City is that despite all the neon lights and cocaine madness, it's still fundamentally a business. Tommy Vercetti isn't just running around causing chaos for fun. He's building an empire, buying properties, establishing revenue streams, and creating a legitimate business network. Sound familiar? This is literally Kiryu's specialty. The man turned cabaret club management into an art form and built real estate empires in his sleep. Vice City's focus on legitimate business fronts would have Kiryu feeling right at home. The organizational structure in Vice City is also way more similar to what Kiryu knows compared to San Andreas. You've got clear hierarchies: the Forelli family, Diaz's organization, the Cubans, the Haitians. These groups have leaders, territories, and codes they follow. Sure, they're more violent than traditional Yakuza clans, but they still operate with some level of structure and respect for power. Kiryu could navigate this world because it has rules, even if they're written in blood. Think about it. Everyone in 1986 Miami is flashy, loud, and constantly trying to prove how tough they are. Then Kiryu walks in, calm as ever, doesn't need to talk big because his reputation speaks for itself, and treats business like actual business instead of a pissing contest. The established players would respect that immediately. The economic opportunities in Vice City are insane too. Real estate is booming. There's money flowing everywhere. And the whole city is basically one giant money laundering operation disguised as legitimate business. Kiryu would see this, and his business brain would go into overdrive. Kiryu's honor code would actually be valued in Vice City because everyone's looking for partners they can trust with millions of dollars in drug money. His reputation for never breaking a deal would make him the most sought-after associate in the city. And speaking of comebacks, let's talk about GTA 4's Liberty City, because this might actually be where Kiryu reaches his final form. If GTA 3 was his comfort zone and Vice City was his business playground, then GTA 4 is where he becomes an absolute legend. This version of Liberty City is grittier, more realistic, and way more focused on the actual hustle, which is exactly where Kiryu shines brightest. First off, the criminal landscape in Grand Theft Auto 4 is perfect for someone with Kiryu's skill set. You've got established families like the Pegorinos and Ancelottis operating with clear hierarchies and codes of conduct. There's the Russian mob with their own structure and territory. The Irish mob, the Albanian crew, everyone has their place and their rules. This isn't the chaotic free-for-all of San Andreas. This is organized crime that actually makes sense, and Kiryu would fit into this world like a missing puzzle piece. Real estate is struggling, which means cheap properties for someone with vision. The taxi industry, nightclubs, internet cafes. There are so many legitimate businesses just waiting for someone with proper management skills. While everyone else is focused on quick scores and drug deals, Kiryu would be quietly building a sustainable empire one business at a time. This is exactly the kind of fighting Kiryu has mastered. Imagine some random thug trying to shake down Kiryu outside a bodega, and suddenly, he's getting introduced to the nearest fire hydrant via heat action. The streets would learn real quick not to mess with the quiet Japanese guy. The relationship building in GTA 4 is everything. Your success depends on maintaining good relationships with different factions, while not burning bridges unnecessarily. This is literally what Kiryu has been doing his entire life. He'd be the one guy everyone trusts because he keeps his word, doesn't backstab people for quick gains, and actually tries to find solutions that work for everyone involved. The game doesn't just glorify criminal life. It shows the real consequences and moral dilemmas involved. Kiryu has always been someone who tries to minimize harm while achieving his goals, and GTA 4's more realistic tone would reward that approach. He'd be the guy who finds ways to complete objectives without unnecessary violence or collateral damage. By the end, Kiryu wouldn't just survive in GTA 4's Liberty City. He'd probably end up as the most respected figure in the criminal underworld, while somehow maintaining legitimate businesses and genuine friendships. He'd be the guy everyone comes to when they need a problem solved cleanly and professionally. Honestly, he'd probably end up running a better version of the criminal world than what was there before he arrived. But then we get to GTA 5, and the biggest problem is that GTA 5 isn't really about traditional organized crime anymore. It's about massive Hollywood-style heists, government conspiracies, and over-the-top action movie scenarios. When's the last time Kiryu had to plan a bank robbery involving helicopters, military-grade equipment, and elaborate escape routes? Never, because that's not how the Yakuza operates. They're about protection rackets, legitimate business fronts, and maintaining territory through respect and fear. GTA 5 is about stealing fighter jets from military bases. The three protagonist system alone would mess with Kiryu's head. He's used to being the central figure, the reliable constant that everyone can count on. But GTA 5 forces you to work with multiple unpredictable partners who all have their own agendas. Michael's having a midlife crisis, Franklin's trying to level up from street crime, and Trevor is literally a psychopath. Kiryu thrives on loyalty and long-term relationships. Imagine trying to build trust with Trevor Phillips. The man would give Kiryu nightmares. Let's talk about the heist mechanics specifically, because this is where Kiryu would be completely out of his element. Planning elaborate multi-part robberies with getaway drivers, hackers, and gunmen, Kiryu's more of a walk in the front door and intimidate people with presence kind of guy. He's not spending weeks planning the perfect score. He's building businesses that generate steady income over years. The whole concept of high-risk, high-reward one-time jobs goes against everything he believes in. We're talking about military-level conflicts with armored vehicles, attack helicopters, and body counts in the hundreds. Kiryu has always tried to minimize casualties and avoid innocent bystanders. Good luck with that when you're shooting your way out of a government facility while being chased by fighter jets. The business environment is completely different too. Los Santos is all about flashy startups, entertainment industry connections, and venture capital. Kiryu's traditional approach of slowly building legitimate businesses and maintaining good relationships with suppliers doesn't work when everyone's trying to disrupt entire industries overnight. He'd show up to a business meeting ready to discuss long-term partnerships, and everyone else would be talking about IPOs and exit strategies. The worst part is that Kiryu's moral code would actually work against him more than ever. GTA 5 constantly puts you in situations where innocent people get hurt, no matter what you choose. Bank robberies involve hostages, heists cause massive property damage, and the government missions put civilians directly in harm's way. Kiryu would spend the entire game trying to find ways to complete objectives without collateral damage, which would be literally impossible. Even the side activities would stress him out. Stock market manipulation? Kiryu's never committed financial crimes in his life. Paparazzi missions? He'd be horrified by invading people's privacy. The whole celebrity culture and social media obsession of Los Santos would be completely alien to someone who values privacy and keeping a low profile. So yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5 would probably be where Kiryu finally admits defeat and retires to run a small restaurant somewhere quiet. It's not that he got soft or lost his edge. It's that the criminal world evolved into something completely unrecognizable from what he knew. Sometimes even legends have to know when it's time to step aside and let the new generation handle the madness. Kiryu belongs in a world with honor codes and respect, not one with flying motorcycles and orbital cannons. And this was my analysis. Let me know in the comments what do you think of this video. Make sure to subscribe before leaving, and I'll see you